Hi, we're going to talk about people pleasing today. And I'm going to try my best to explain it in not just a way for you to understand it cognitively, but for you to physically feel how it is, not how it is like to be an overthinker, but what's actually being activated in your body when you're overthinking. Because sometimes it's just a lot of feelings going on through your body and you don't even understand what's happening, and it sometimes can take time. So I think it's actually pretty good to know how you're feeling in the moment when you're feeling it, so that your brain and your body is actually aligned. Because the moment when we start both people pleasing or overthinking, your mind and your body, there's like a sever. You're not aligned anymore with yourself, and that is when you start kind of people pleasing or trying to do whatever to kind of find that alignment of like security, because you being aligned with yourself gives you security. So anyways, let's break down. So let's talk about people pleasing. The only reason we start people pleasing, or the only reason we start people pleasing, let's talk about people pleasing. The only reason we start people pleasing is the only reason we start people pleasing is when the notion of you have a choice, you feel like it's been taken away from you, or you feel like you do not have a choice in whatever way you would like to do things, react, whatever. You have no choice. People pleasing directly comes in because then you start looking for safety. Not having a choice pulls away safety from you, which then makes you start looking for safety. And looking for safety looks different depending on what situation, what environment you might be in. So you look for safety outside, and it can be looking for safety from the environment, what's going on. It can be looking for safety from the person next to you. It can be looking for safety in a conversation that you're having. But everything else you start doing the moment you notice you cannot, you do not have choice, or you do not have say in choices that are being put in front of you. That's when you're trying to get the best choice out of all the things that are put in front of you. But I feel like most times we forget, or I know most of the times we forget, that you can make your own choice out of the choices that are put in front of you. And that is when you kind of realign back with yourself, because the only reason to why people pleasing will start is because you do not trust yourself in the moment when things are actually happening. You do not trust yourself in how you're going to handle yourself. You do not trust that you're going to do the best thing. You do not trust anything. So you trust everyone else around you because you believe, or you feel like whatever is around you, you trust that whatever is going on will bring you a sense of safety, as in you start looking for safety from them. Now, when we do not realize that that is what's happening in the moment, this is what happens. You will look for safety through other means. You will think you have found that safety, but that safety is not safety you can rely on, because you had to look for it. It wasn't something that was given to you naturally. It's something that you felt like you needed to form another version of you to get the safety. And this happens, mind you, it can be work, friendships, relationships, like it happens all the time, that when you give the sense of I'm in charge, not just I'm in charge of myself, but I also get to make choices with myself that have to do with me, not anyone else. That is when you start, one, less anxiety, less overthinking, and then the whole you feeling like you need to people please starts dying down, because no one else will ever bring you security like you bring security to yourself. It's just that I always find it to be such a nice little circle, like a circle of life at the end of the day, because you come out here alone looking for, I don't know if it's guidance, I don't know if you, but you're looking for nurture. That's your mother. And when you're a bit older, then you start nurturing yourself. You become your own, like it's you. You nurture yourself. So security needs to be found within you. Trust needs to be found within you. certainty needs to be found within you, and not just because you believe what you believe, but you have come to the conclusions that you have come to and the convictions that you have come to because there is basis behind it. Like, you have chiseled yourself or sculpted yourself not to be the best. Actually, is it to be the best, but to be the best version of yourself? Because who else will give you security to yourself if it's not you? Who else will give you trust if it's not you? So everything comes from within. And once you have figured that out, then you will never, ever, 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 ever need to ever people please to anyone else, because you will come to understand, why am I people pleasing when the only life I have to live is my own, and I should please myself, and not just please yourself as in do whatever you want to do, which, yes, do whatever you want to do, as long as it just involves you. No one should have a say in things that do not harm or affect any, like, I don't want to go off for that fucking tangent, because I think then we're having a whole different conversation, or we're talking about a whole lot of different things, and I feel like that's another video in itself. But security, or specifically choice, will always be in your hands. Choice will always land in your hands. You are responsible for you, and not responsible for you in like the daunting way, which I think I'm experiencing right now, but that's another conversation. But you are responsible for you, as in you can say no, you can say yes, you can say maybe, you can say I'm not comfortable about this, you can say I don't know, actually I have not formed an opinion, I do not have a thought. You are allowed to say whatever you want to say in a situation when you do not know what to say. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't think I get what I'm saying, but you are allowed pause, you are allowed moments to, regather yourself. You are allowed to just be a human being. You're not supposed to be walking around a perfect creation. You're just supposed to be a human being and living and discovering yourself as the days and the years and the time goes by. So, why would you want to sit here and perform for somebody else when you have a whole, how do I want to say, like, you're the main character of your own movie? Why would you then want to go and play a side character in somebody else's movie when you can have your whole, I don't want to say Game of Thrones, but you can have your whole, I want to say Hobbits. What the fuck is that show called? No, the show. Woo, show. Woo, show. You can have your whole Lord of the Rings trilogy instead of busy playing a side character. You can have your whole trilogy going on and actually explore, live, feel, like everything. You do not need to play side character in other people's whatever. You do not need to. They should never ever. Every time you feel like anything you might do might be a threat to how other people are reacting, you need to ask yourself the question of, is it a threat because of who they are, of who I am, of the situation, or is it a threat because it scares me. It scares me to say this to this person. Do the things that scare you. I feel like now I have gone on a whole tangent. Um, but the only thing I want to end on, the one thing I really want to end on throughout this whole like yappa yappa, what's her name? What did Wendy Williams like to say? Yappalation. So amidst of all this yappalation that I have been going, the last thing I want to say, you do have choice. You do have choice, and no one can have opinions about your choices when it comes to things that involve you. You can decide if you want to involve yourself, if you want to take a step back, if you want to think, if you want to recalibrate, or I don't even know if I'm using that word correctly. If you want to, you can make choices that involve you, and you shouldn't leave choices that involve you in other people's hands, because otherwise it will leave you trying to please whatever so that they can do things in your favor forgetting that you can do things in your favor for yourself. You do not need to ask for permission at all. You're in charge of yourself and you know enough. So do that shit. Anyways, I hope you had a good day or a great week. Hopefully, I'm more consistent, and I'll see you again next week. Signed. I don't even do fucking kisses, but I did it because it's kind of cute. But signed Ernie, and take care of yourself. Drink some tea. Take care of yourself and drink some tea and eat sweets. Do everything that makes you happy. That's all. Bye.